So let's talk about the top 5 reasons electronic access control is better than mechanical keys, mechanical locks. If you are buying a commercial building in America, you have the right to expect that it has certain things. So it has electricity, it has lights, it has plumbing, it has doors, and you would expect that all those doors have mechanical locks and that are controlled by mechanical keys. So very frequently, we'll see organizations take over the lease of a building and start working in a building and just keep those keys. So we thought we would discuss some reasons why all those organizations might want to consider getting electronic access control and using that instead of using mechanical keys and mechanical locks.
Yeah, I mean, access control system fixes a lot of operational issues that can come with a manual key and lock system. I mean, what are some of the operational risks that can be mitigated by an access control system?
Well, the first operational risk is obviously lock picking. So in the past couple of years, we've seen the rise of what people call lock sport, which is learning how to pick locks for fun. So if you have an organization and it has more than a few employees, it's more than possible that at least 1 or 2 of those employees know how to pick a lock, and that makes the value of your actual lock much less. And that's not not even going into the fact that who knows how many people out in the real world also know how to pick a lock. So we don't see a lot of lock picking, but we're definitely going to see that rising as time goes on.
I mean, while it's not as prevalent, it still can happen. But at least with an access control system, it'll tell you what time that it was broken into. While there might not be physical damage to the door and the lock itself, that access control is going to pick up that the door was opened at a certain time by forced entry.
Absolutely. So the access control system always logs whenever a lock has been opened and a lock has been closed, and the mechanical system just can't do that. And that brings us to our next problem, which is central management of doors. So every door is a standalone device when it comes to mechanical locks, mechanical keys. So a door is open, a door is closed. You have to physically open or close a door. And if you want a door to be locked, you have to ask somebody to walk over to that door and lock it or unlock it. You can't do that remotely. You can't do it on a schedule. It's just an analog device. It's either locked or unlocked. It's either closed or opened.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with an access control is you can just put the whole building, any door can be on a schedule for a time to open up at this time or lock at this time, and you can do a manual override to open it for one person to come in if you need. So it fixes that issue pretty quick.
And then the other problem is you can't manage the users either. So if you have a lock, you have a key, you can take a piece of metal and grind it down until it becomes a key, and now you have 2 keys. Now you can hand it to a user. But if you have lots of users that need to use the same door, you have to keep making keys. If you have a lot of doors in your organization, you have to issue a bunch of keys. And if you have to dismiss somebody, you have to just get that key back from them. What if they don't want to give them that key to you? What if they've copied it in the meantime? What if they've had it stolen or lost? You can't manage those users. What if somebody needs access to a door all of a sudden? You have to go out and get a whole new key for that person. It's a problem.
Yeah, and one of the many ways that you could do this with an access control is just a piece of plastic as a card. It tracks a person when they go in and when they go out. You give them certain access to certain places, whether they don't need to go everywhere, so you don't have to let them go everywhere like a key. So you can issue them keys controlled from a computer, and if, like you said, if they need to be relieved and they get fired, whatever, all you do is simply turn them off at the computer. It's as simple as that. You don't have to worry about fighting to get it back or anything like that.
And this is a big problem, especially if you have a lot of doors or if you have lots of buildings and you have users that need to go between building and building. So your 2 choices are to either have 1 key to one door or to have a master key system. If you've ever been to like a hospital or something or another large organization, you see a janitor jangling their way down a hallway with a gigantic key ring. You've been to an organization that has a single key system. Like you see this guy over here and he's just trying to remember which key is what, because if you have a single key system, eventually things are going to get mislabeled, things are going to get lost, labels are going to come off. So you have 100 doors and now you have 100 keys if you're lucky. And now you have to remember which key goes where. who needs a key, who has to have a key taken back from them. So traditionally, the solution to this has been the master key system. Master key system is a system where you can have a lock that can be unlocked with lots of different keys. So you have different keys with different security levels. You have one key that can unlock one lock, you have one key that can unlock a couple of locks, and then you have one key in the system that can lock every single door. But this gets real expensive. You have to get a locksmith, you have to hire a locksmith and permanently keep a locksmith on staff. Not just any locksmith, but what's called an institutional locksmith. Now those people, very knowledgeable, very experienced, very, very expensive. You have to have one person on staff to keep an eye over this whole thing, because keys get lost, keys get damaged, locks get damaged, and then they have to go out and change the lock or change the way the system works. And then what if the way you what if the way your users use the building changes? So you have a department moving, you have a department coming in, now they have to go out and change the whole lock system again, they have to reissue keys. It's a nightmare.
It is, and with access control, that's a cost you could effectively eliminate. But not having 100 keys and not paying 2 salaries for 2 separate people to upkeep with the keys, and all you need is effectively a piece of plastic and a couple of card readers on doors, and you can control the entire system.
But the biggest problem with mechanical locks is the fact that you have no idea what the status of your door is unless you physically walk over to there and physically look at the door. You could hope that a door is closed, but you don't really know. You can hope that a door is locked, you don't really know until you actually go down there and look at it. So one of the things we see all the time is there's always a tension between the consumer of security and the people that have to implement a security policy. So the way the security department wants the doors to behave is always going to be different than the way the people actually use the system from day to day actually want to use the system. And there's always a tension between convenience and security. So the security department can say this door must remain locked for security reasons throughout the day. But then if you have one user who thinks that door should be unlocked, that door is going to be unlocked. They're just going to take a brick or a bucket or something to block the door from closing completely, and then that door is now slightly ajar, or it's a propped door. You see this with smokers, you see this with maintenance people, movers, anybody needs to go in and out of a door, they don't want to lock and unlock the door every single time, they'll prop that door. If you have a propped door, then now you have a hole in your security system and you'll never ever know it.
Yeah, well, and with access control, while it might not be able to close that prop door for you, it'll at least tell you that it's open so that you can get somebody out there to respond to it. And instead of waiting for somebody that actually cares to go by and then lock or close it, just dispatch somebody from sitting in front of a computer. More
visibility is always a good thing.
Well, so if people have questions or if they want designs, is there a way that they can reach out to us?
They can always reach out to us at support@vidchez.com. We love answering questions. Let us know, and we'll be happy to help you out.